Hey there, good people. So today I'm going to drop in with you guys and be talking about mirrors in the context of feng shui. And if we hear the term feng shui and you think that feng shui doesn't apply to you or you don't have interest in feng shui, the thing that I would invite you into is to realize that things in our environments, the things we see, optimize or degrade our psychology. The things we see and the things that are in our environment have an effect on us. If we see something very violent, it has an effect on us. If we see something very beautiful, a mother kissing a child, for instance, there is a positive emotional response inside of us. So we can see interactions with people and have it have an effect on us, and we can also see very ugly things and that can have an effect on us. So if you can buy into that basic idea, this is where feng shui becomes relevant. How our environments shape our psychology, and if we can augment, tweak, and uplift our psychology, that's a win. That's what we want. That's the whole point of feng shui. So my intention in this video is specifically to talk about the use of mirrors. So when we look at the use of mirrors, mirrors are seen as the aspirin in feng shui. It's what takes away the aches and pains or the stagnant areas in an environment. So the idea that I want you guys to sit with, all right, is that mirrors can be incredibly powerful if used appropriately. So what we want to think of is that when we use feng shui and we use things in our environment, the science of feng shui is basically using our environments as a symbolic template, meaning that the use of symbols, colors, placement of art, it's almost like a play box. Like if we had, when my mom used to go to counseling, sometimes I would go to her sessions, and in the center of that room, the therapist would have this sandbox with all of these toys. And she had lots of toys on her shelf, and she would say, okay, pick off, the toy off that shelf that is you, and pick off the toy on the shelf that is the antagonist in your life. Put them down and show me what's happening with action figures. And while as a kid there were toys and I loved playing with them, I thought the exercise was incredibly good because it put a visual frame of reference and it was symbolic, right? This person is the dragon and I'm the knight trying to slay the dragon. So in this same context, we want to think of our environments and the placement of things as a symbolic dialogue that we are engaging in. Lots of traditions, lots of great minds, lots of great thinkers talk about the role and importance of symbols. So when we use mirrors, the symbol, there's two elemental forces that mirrors align with, water and metal. So when we look at these elemental rhythms, we look at water in our environment, depth in meaning, and depth in experience in our life, our life's journey, our business, our career success, okay, the deep undercurrent of life. Metal, okay, this relates to what we would call cosmic themes, okay, things in the great beyond. It ties to spirit in Chinese medicine. Also pertains to beauty and organization. So there are some real key threads that if we use metal, okay, which is what mirrors are, they're seen as metal and water, a mixture of both, because water reflects if the water is placid and calm, and then if metal is polished, it reflects. So when we look at mirrors, we're playing with this elementally. Okay, these are the two elements that we're playing with. They can help and support these themes in our life. But the way I want you to think about mirrors is like this. Like I said, it's the aspirin in feng shui. It's the thing that can take the aches and pains away. So some of the areas where we get aches and pains in a home, and I don't mean physically, but what I mean is this, where light doesn't reach, that's one. So dark corners, whether it be in a ceiling, whether it be in a hallway, that's an ache and pain, because what we want is light coming into the house. Now the question is, why? Why do we want light coming into the house? The studies do not lie. There is lots of research supporting that when we have ample light in our environments, our mood is uplifted. Okay, rates of depression are considerably lower in people who get more sunlight through their eyes. Part of how our body makes our hormones. Hormone production happens if our eyes are receiving sunlight. So that's one. Immune response is also affected by this. So we need sunlight during the day. Being outdoors is optimal, but if we are indoors, try to get natural light in. Mirrors help facilitate this. So one of the first things I encourage you to do is to be strategic with your mirror placement. Put mirrors in your home, look where light comes in through your windows, and try to place mirrors, whether they are large or small, in a place where that light is reflected into the home. So if you have a window over here and a dark spot over here, put that here. Or put the mirror on this side, put it on the other side so that when light comes in, it bounces and reflects light onto the dark spot. That's one way to do it. The other way is to allow you to see into other rooms where, say, your kitchen and your living room are separated by a turn in your home. One of the ideas you want to consider in Chinese medicine and in the practice of feng shui is that what you want is that there is a feeling of consistency and flow through the environment, okay? Just the way water moves through an environment, we want this. Part of what mirrors can do is help us see around corners. So if two areas of your house that are active and they need to be connected, try to use mirrors in a way where you reflect. So you can be in your kitchen, look at the mirror, and see your living room. What this also does, by association, okay, and this is kind of a third trait of what mirrors do, is they amplify. That's what they do. They amplify and reflect, which isn't groundbreaking. We all know that mirrors reflect. But what that means is they show two. They double the energy visually. So one of the ways in my home personally, when you walk into my house, there's a wall just completely on the left, and to the right is my large living room. So what I did, first thing I did when I moved into that home was put a very large mirror on the left wall so that it reflects the living room that was on my right. So when I walk in, I can see my living room on both sides, and it visually makes the space look doubly big. Now, obviously it's not actually doubly big, but what that does is create mental space. It creates the feeling of having double space. So we want to use mirrors in this way. We want to think about them, right? We need light. So let your mirrors reflect light into the dark areas of your home. That's one. Okay, that helps with bacteria. So when there's more sunlight in the home, there's less bacteria. Helps with mood, helps with hormone production. Then we're looking at this reflecting quality, connecting rooms. Okay, so it should create a visual connection between multiple rooms, ideally, even if they're small mirrors or big. And then lastly, they amplify and make space look bigger. So outside of the feng shui theory, even if you're not a big feng shui proponent, use your mirrors strategically. Don't just have them be features in your home that you look at yourself in and do your makeup and put your tie on. That's important too. But use them strategically, and if you do that, your house, your home, and your psychology get a bump up. And that's the name of the game. So I invite you guys to conceptualize mirrors this way. Use them as a medicine. Don't just use them as a feature. They're not something that is just, lifeless. They bring quite a bit of life into a room and into our spaces if we allow them to, and we have the framework and understanding on how to use them. So I hope this finds you guys well. And please, please, please consider that everyone is affected by feng shui. These tips and these tools are very practical. Okay, there's not something necessarily even groundbreaking in this, but we do need a framework on how to use this and how to understand these larger ideas. Because if we can do that, we give ourselves a leg up in life, and that is a good thing. So if you guys would ever like to work with me, I do feng shui consultation for individuals and for businesses. These principles are very applicable in all areas. So like I said, I hope this finds you well. Thanks for your time.